Good afternoon on what is a cool, changeable but damp day. I'm back in the rig Nook, so cat that's not ours, nice hot cup of tea, pile of parcels. So let's get going. So the first one I'm going to do this big thing, so give that a bit of a rattle so it's got things in it. So that is very likely going to be a board game. So just reposition that. So let's just crack this open. So see if I can find. Oh, here we go. It's well taped down, and it does need a bit of work to get open. So just have a, there we go, let's position that back. So there we go. It's going to come out. Okay. Let's make sure one way of coming out is this, which is to break the plastic, wrap in and pull it straight out. And there it comes. Took a bit of effort. But what I have got is this. Okay, so this is Dark World. It is you're the last hope. The final battle begins. A game for adventurers with courage, skill, and daring. It's designed for 2 to 5 players, aged 10 and up, and it's published by Waddingtons. Now, the thing is, this is the sort of thing you wouldn't necessarily expect a game like Waddingtons to produce. I'll show you the back, see what kind of game it is. So it's a big battle game, much in the mode of HeroQuest, and that's really what got my interest. It's got a fantastic cover. Let me show you that again. That's a great cover. You know, you've got a mighty hued warrior against a great leonine creature, a dwarf there, some other kind of warrior, a knight or something like that, again against a mighty fortress, and it's all, well, very HeroQuest-like, and that's why, you know, I took an interest in it. So, so what I was saying is basically Waddingtons are kind of best known for games like, well, Cluedo, you know, and things like that, family games, children's games, not basically hobby adventure games, or and then sort of like military games like Campaign, they're basically the Napoleonic sort of like chess-like variant that was played across the landscape of countries rather than sort of like chessboards. But yeah, not a dungeon battling game. So this came out at 1992. Yeah, so this is 40 years old, and this was essentially their answer, Waddington's answer to HeroQuest, and which was, and in some ways it was much easier to find a copy of this at a reasonable price than HeroQuest. But open up inside, and you've got a whole lot more bits of plastic, which I will show you. Okay, I'm going to show you. There we go, and that's bits on the floor. So I will go and rescue those. Not too many, thankfully. But it's not the weather to be tipping these on the floor. Yeah, Okay, so lots of bits of cardboard, and even a terrain element, which so you can see that you've got a mirror and it swings round to an image, which is basically a nice bit of piece of scenery there. So let's just gonna. This is a really, you've got a big box of bits here, and it's not one board but two. So open up, and basically that's probably the big battle scene at the end. And you on here, we've got a bit more of a generic layout. And on these various bits and pieces of rooms, so essentially they would you would lay these out across, like sort of like that. They would slot in. Oh, hold on. So you've got these here, so they would slot into the here. So it would be like that. Okay. See automatic terrain and building pieces there. So quite a lot. You've got 4 or 5 of those, and then furniture. So you've got a whole selection of chests, and the actual lids come off. So the production values on this game are, well, let's be fair. And you know, you've got a plastic wall section with steps as well. Basically, more plastic bits, lots of plastic bits of pieces of terrain. And you've got this is a card holder, I think, and you have one each for the players. More steps. Wall sections for holding things together. I mean, you know, I bought it off eBay, so it's great. I really like the fact that somebody's gone to the lengths of. So essentially, you've got wall sections for holding things together. It's a nice touch. Couple coins. Big piece of scenery with some kind of balls in. I don't know what they're for. Really big piece of plastic scenery. Basically, presumably that's sort of like you've got like the throne sequence there. Somehow this is all supposed to go back into the box, and I don't quite know how, but yeah, that's. Yeah, so it does take a bit of effort to try and get this all back in, and you can see that there is very much there's if you have, I mean, you know, there's very much a way of doing that. They've actually put some thought into that. Some of the miniatures have been painted, but you know, bone white the skeletons. So here. Sorry, my fingers are slightly cold, so it's just trying to. The other disadvantage to sort of like. So I can show you the mummies there in the plastic. I'd love to get these out, but trying to get these open is just they're a bit sticking a bit. So you've got quite a lot of detail on these figures here, so they're really nice. Presumably these are your heroes, and I can get. Oh, I split the bag open there. But here you can see there's a bit more to them. You've got barbarian style figure, complete with golden axe, different slight pose. Dwarf, okay, and these are separate. These come separately, and you can slot them into place. So automatic. There's a sense of sort of there's an automatic degree of sophistication because they can change weapons. and you've got a knight there, and he's got a morning star flail. And lastly, who have we got down here? Some kind of rogue, but he's got a hammer. So not necessarily all of it. All that might be the barbarian. I'm not sure, but it's just, there's no obvious magic using character there. But you know, that's fine. And there's also these little card tags in there. I don't know whether they move. It's interesting going to be delving into this because this game is 40 years old this year, so it's going to be interesting to review that. That's one reason why I got it, but also because I've got interest in sort of like Dungeon Bash board games, sort of like of this type. So we've got more counters, action dice. You can automatically show, okay, see these are presumably rolling damage, and then you've got like a 10-sided dice. So again, another level up in sophistication in terms of its play style and its mechanics. And we've got flags and little things. I don't know what those are. Lots and lots of little bits in there. Pack some of this away before we get onto the rule book. So there are the monsters in their guise as essentially what you get in the box, and then we'll have the painting guide. So the creatures are, I mean, that is the Leonine creature is a manticore, but you've got mummies, skeletons, korax, ogres, orcs, and then the characters are the dwarf, the ranger, not the thief, or the barbarian. There is a barbarian and the knight. So it's very much a martial game. And then we've got a great assembly, and it takes place in a castle, and we've actually got a guide here to the castle assembly to see how it goes together with some background. And then you've got the proper game assembly itself, so you can see there how you've got the three going across the table, and then these slot into places. So you've got basically 9 rooms there, more or less, before you get to the final throne room. And then you've got the monsters and magic items, and the little magic items here. We show you those. So they are. You've got the speed of boots of speed ×4, grenades and healing potions. So there we go. And treasure chests. We've got essentially we've got a castle pit and base camps, which is presumably the base for your character, and all the cards you might draw and so on, because there's somewhere there are cards in here as well. And then we get to the middle bit, and so far all this. It's not quite the middle bit, but it's almost. But there's no. This is the object of the game is the heroes must fight their way through the castle to defeat Korak. At the same time, they're going to gain the most points by killing monsters and collecting coins and hit miss cards. And here's the game set up in place. So let's just closer look for that. So you can see these are used for the players, and then you've got all the sections here for the referee, the dungeon master, handling on the side. And then we get into the rules themselves. Covering things, obviously elements such as, turn order, hero's turn movement, responsibility for Korak the Corbran, who is the referee, and then the various using hit miss cards, gold coins, Korak's turn, and the Haunter. We're going to cast entrance, and then we've still got rules for things like healing fountains, teleport platforms, secret doors, treasure chests and golden weapons, magic items, healing potions, all there. The fireball grenade and the castle arena an arch and a doom step. So you've got one big adventure here of going in and defeating Korak. I think for all this, you're kind of going and doing one thing. The advanced rules are essentially heroes may never keep more than 6 hit or miss cards at any one time. To kill a monster in combat, heroes must get at least 1 more hit point more than the monster's strength. We've got a full list of the parts of the game. What else? Oh yeah, here are the cards. Down here. I'm getting these out there. Little sharp in that. So I'm trying to take these. Let's just. Because essentially, although there are Ziploc bags, they're fairly thin Ziploc bags. I don't want to catch them, so presumably those are going to be the hit or miss cards, and there's quite a few of those. Yeah, those are the only cards that I can see in there. There may be some more elsewhere, but yeah, those are the components to the Dark World. So let's just put it all back. And I'm difficulty putting it back in the bag, it's just as I am. Difficulty getting it out. My first impression of this is essentially this is really well appointed. It's a this is going to grow out the top table once you all assemble it. There is so much to this game. So if I can actually try and work out how to put it all back in the box, there is so much of it. It's almost a puzzle in its own right. So we'll just put that back on the top. Let's just. So let me just say, so the setting is a game for adventures with courage, skill and daring. For many years, Korak, the Cobran nemesis, had used his vast army of monsters to spread chaos and destruction throughout the known world. He seized kingdoms, destroyed villages and spread terror in many lands. Into this dark world come 4 brave adventurers, princes of their race, grimly determined to destroy Korak and his evil hordes or perish in the attempt. The final battle begins. So we've got the Knight of Noble Birth, the Barbarian and Mighty Warrior, the Ranger and Nimble Scout, the Dwarf known as the Giant's Lair, and Kobrak, the Cobran Nemesis. And yeah, once you have that in play, that's an impressive looking game. I don't know how many gameplays you're going to get out of that, to be fair, and how much scope there is for designing your own adventures, because it was all kind of focused from getting in from the beginning to the end and defeating the monster. But basically, Kobrak, the Cobran Nemesis. Whereas I think, obviously, in comparison, well, Hero Quest, you've got a bit more flexibility. You've got sort of like 10 or so different adventures in the book, and you've got scope to design your own if you want to. I mean, they may not be as sophisticated as this, but it is perhaps a more flexible game. Anyway, in the meantime, this is Dark World, published by Waddingtons Game in 1992. Interesting attempt to do a dungeon battle game of greater sophistication than Hero Quest. And I look forward to reviewing this sometime later in the year. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing of the Nook. If you have, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings here in the Nook, where you will see me with a box and a game or book, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, and even occasionally a cat who is not ours, then please do hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing of the Nook. Bye for now.